Mortal Kombat 11's base roster is likely almost revealed, and it will be host to a wide variety of characters, outlandish and normal, good and evil. While many of the returning characters are pretty well known, in any fighting game roster there are a handful of characters who are lesser known, but still interesting. We would like to take this opportunity to draw attention to Chameleon and Chameleon from the Mortal Kombat franchise, two characters with very similar spellings, but who are still, nonetheless, quite different. Both Chameleon and Chameleon thus far only figure into the Midway continuity, and have not appeared in the more recent NetherRealm Studios games outside of a cameo appearance that serves no gameplay or story purpose. But that isn't to say that they won't appear in future games. We'll start with Chameleon. She only appears in 2 games in the Midway continuity, with her debut title being Mortal Kombat Trilogy's Nintendo 64 version. Trilogy is an updated version of Mortal Kombat 3, but there are differences between each version released for the different console platforms. Story details from Mortal Kombat Trilogy reveal that Chameleon is likely the last female of the Saurians, a race of reptilian humanoids native to Earthrealm. Saurians are highly intelligent and typically have the ability to alter their appearance. Another known Saurian you might have heard of is Reptile, who appeared in the first Mortal Kombat game. While Saurians are native to Earthrealm, they were forced out of Earthrealm after Shinnok and Raiden waged war against each other, and that conflict of which was so devastating that it killed many Saurians and left them seeking a new home. Shinnok is evil and sought to conquer Earthrealm, and Raiden opposed him. In any case, that new home for the Saurians would be the realm of Zaterra, and for a time the Saurians thrived there. This was until the evil Emperor of Outworld, Shao Kahn, moved to invade and conquer Zaterra after Outworld had won 10 consecutive Mortal Kombat tournaments against Zaterra. When one realm wins 10 victories over another in Mortal Kombat, invasion by the winning realm against the losing realm is allowed, and so Shao Kahn's invasion saw the Saurians driven to near extinction. Reptile, for his entire life, has been seeking out fellow Saurians and has made it his goal to restore Saurian civilization, and works with Shao Kahn and other villains under the assumption that they can help him achieve that goal, though he doesn't realize that no one will make good on that promise. Chameleon, on the other hand, assigns blame for the destruction waged upon the Saurians directly to Shao Kahn, and has opposed him throughout the Midway continuity. The events of Mortal Kombat Trilogy see Chameleon seeking out Reptile in hopes to turn him away from Shao Kahn and to work together to rebuild Saurian civilization, telling him that it was Shao Kahn who was responsible for wiping out Zaterra, but canonically, Shao Kahn's hold on Reptile is too strong and Reptile refuses to work with her. The Saurians are a matriarchal society, and Reptile's mental stability would fray over time as he remains isolated from a Saurian matriarch and from fellow Saurians. Meanwhile, though Shao Kahn's influence in the story would rise and fall since the events of the third Mortal Kombat game, he would still evade Chameleon's wrath. But Chameleon is not seen again until Mortal Kombat Armageddon, though only in the Wii version, the 7th and final game in the Midway continuity. Chameleon learns of the power of the elemental named Blaze that is being sought out by villainous characters. The person who defeats him would possess might uncontestable. Chameleon seeks this power both to prevent Shao Kahn from attaining it and to use it to exact revenge against him. At the Great Battle of Armageddon at the end of the game, marked by a clash between franchise's heroes and villains, Chameleon sides with the forces of light, the heroes. She would, however, perish, and the forces of light lose, according to franchise canon. This establishes Chameleon, and so we move on to Chameleon. Chameleon's origin is somewhat ambiguous. He may be another Saurian, as is the case with Chameleon and Reptile, but it's never concretely established. Whereas Chameleon is specific to the Nintendo 64 version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Chameleon is playable in all other versions of the game. Chameleon is not given much of a story in Trilogy. Instead, his background is only really fleshed out in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Even then, it's simply stated that he has been watching the events of this continuity unfold dating as far back as the first Mortal Kombat game. However, at the Battle of Armageddon, Chameleon aligns himself with the forces of darkness, though he perishes in that fight. This is as much as known about this character. Chameleon and Chameleon both serve similar functions in their debut in Trilogy and in Armageddon, as they both have access to the movesets of female and male ninjas respectively. In Trilogy, Chameleon and Chameleon can access all of the moves associated with the ninjas of a certain gender. This changes in Armageddon, in which both characters do not have access to all moves from the female or male ninjas, only some of their moves. There's not much reason to expect either Chameleon or Chameleon to make an appearance in Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11 deals with the theme of time travel and past selves of characters meeting their current selves. Reptile is not currently confirmed as a member of the base roster, which would make any story involving Zatara or the Saurians unlikely. This isn't to say that a story involving the Saurians wouldn't be possible without Reptile. In fact, it would be interesting to give that story more background with a new Vantage Point character besides Reptile. If their NetherRealm portrayal were to follow their Midway portrayal, it would seem more likely that Chameleon would serve as a Vantage Point character and thus be more likely to be included. Reptile's story thus far primarily is focused on his service to Shao Kahn or Kotal Khan, so it would be great to give more focus to other more minor characters. But either way, if either of the two characters are included, they need to have their own movesets rather than borrowing from others. And that closes our video on the full story of Chameleon and Chameleon. Their future in the NetherRealm continuity may seem uncertain, but they leave open an unexplored avenue for storytelling that we hope NetherRealm Studios considers. While we likely always expect to see characters such as Raiden and Scorpion driving the story, it is interesting to see what more minor characters can do by adding new dimensions to character relationships or world building. Do you want to see Chameleon or Chameleon in Mortal Kombat 11? Well, let us know your thoughts on the characters in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.